Good morning. Good morning to Dean Castro, distinguished guests, faculty, staff, students. I am delighted to stand before this auspicious group to candidly speak to you about developing the right attitude and seeing yourself as a masterpiece. Before I do, let's take a brief moment to pay a moment of silence to those that were affected by the earthquake in Nepal just a few weeks ago, and all of the young people across this country, this great country, who are perceived as thugs or demonized for nothing more than the color of their skin. Let us pray that God will provide for those who literally lost everything, and pray that He will see them through. In addition, let's pray that He will impress upon those that's in authority that they will begin to do what's right and not take the lives of innocent young people. When I got this call inquiring as to whether or not I will accept to do this keynote address, I pondered for a moment. However, as I thought about it, I decided that this is an opportunity for me to have a candid conversation with my young brothers and sisters, whereby I can share with them some of my experiences, hopefully with the intention of inspiring and cajoling them to become believers in themselves and strive for excellence in all that they do. The current state of affairs in our country, especially some of our inner cities, is somber. From an academic standpoint, most of our African American and Hispanic counterparts are performing at much lower standard than children of other persuasions. Socially, we continue to observe young African American men gunned down by the police who continue to use the same mantra that their lives, quote, were in danger, unquote. Culturally, we have morphed into a community of likes where people race to Facebook, Instagram, Line, and Snapchat, to name a few, posting all sorts of obsolete and vile images with the intention of seeing who can get the most likes. As a result, we are lost in the euphoria of existing in a delusional state of existence. What does this bode for the future of you, young people, if you continue along this path with putting your life in perspective and realizing that your life is not made of likes, nor settling for mediocrity, is not synonymous with being black. Instead, your life at this time should be focused on looking inwardly at yourself while realizing that you are a masterpiece. You are the CEO of You Incorporated. You have what it takes to achieve anything in your life. And you can achieve anything that you put your mind toward, what you recognize that change will happen with no one but you. The great philosopher Aristotle once said, choices, not chances, determines your destiny. Now is the time to begin to do some introspection and make choices that can augment not my life, but your life. Don't look at yourself in the context of today's world. Look at yourself 5, 10, maybe 15 years from now and begin to develop a blueprint or a roadmap for your life. Similarly, there's an old Confucian saying that states, the journey of 1,000 miles begins with the first step. This is true, for every journey has a beginning. Now you have to begin to create a plan for how you can cross that first mile and develop a pathway to completing the next 999 miles. Once you do so, you will be well on your way to changing your life forever. As a young graduate, I can vividly remember the feeling of joy, euphoria, accomplishment, satisfaction, and honor to know that my long, arduous hours of studying, handing in assignments, taking examinations, cramming, while rearing a family had finally paid off. I felt proud to know that as the first in my family to graduate, I had achieved what some had failed to achieve. My success thus far can be seen as an aggregate of my hard work, determination, dedication, and parental support. There were times when I kept asking myself, when will it end? Well, the truth is, obtaining my bachelor's degree in mathematical physics was only the beginning, for the journey had just begun at that time. Instead of stopping there, I challenged myself to pursue a master's degree in engineering and a doctorate in environmental science, albeit the skids and bumps in the road. Almost 5 years ago to date, I came across an article published in the Phi Delta Kappa magazine titled A Study of Three Cultures, Germany, Japan, and the United States. The gist of the study focused on why there is so vast a difference in the academic abilities of young people in these three countries. The article noted that collectively, the Japanese people tend to ignore the differences that exist between them and cherish a belief that individual and group accomplishment can always be increased by the application of a greater effort on the part of the individuals. The German respondents emphasized that the primary focus contributing to the differences in academic abilities were natural disposition, specifically intelligence and talent, the home environment, and parental support. Then when the same question was put to the Americans, they said that family stability and family support played a key role in their success. The expressed attitudinal differences are clear. The Japanese students were willing to ignore non-essential differences and apply themselves in order to achieve their goals. The German students, on the other hand, manifested a strong belief in their own personal abilities and natural talents and were deeply aware of the differences. Now, taking a closer look at the Americans' response, we see a strong tendency to ascribe their success to a support-based system, especially stability in the home. Although a strong basic support system will necessarily play a key role in any person's development, I firmly believe that there is an innate need to spend more time on the essentials that underlie success in an uncompromisingly competitive society such as modern-day America. These essentials include quality time with yourself, non-requisite reading to nourish the spirit, quality time of doing detailed assignments to nourish the organizing principles of abstract thinking. Finally, and quite as important as any of the preceding, there is also the need to prioritize personal values and relationship with a view to establishing long-term standards that can serve as guideposts in later years. These are crucial factors that will, I believe, yield greater success for young people in these United States. To you, the students in the audience, who says achieving one's goal can be accomplished without sacrifice, there's a price to be paid for you to reach the zenith of your endeavors. Just ask those who have gone before you. The price is called desire, endurance, and perseverance. Desire, because there must be a yearning, a longing, or innate belief that you are on your way to achieving what is rightfully yours. Every day that you awake, you must continue to feel that sense of urgency, knowing that you are closer towards achieving your goals, not my goals. With perseverance, there must be continuity to the end, despite trials and tribulations that you may face along the way, and the endurance to hold on and to focus on your long-term goals. This includes being able to adequately manage your 24 hours, because we all do have 24 hours that we are responsible for. The first and most important step in the upward climb is to reject the belief that other students, no matter who they may be, are naturally smarter than you are. You must, and I would say you must, renounce the myth that you know less than others, and you cannot learn just as much as anyone else. And I'll repeat, you must renounce the myth that you know less than others and that you cannot learn just as much as anyone else. You must take ownership of your learning and maximize on your God-given potential to the fullest. You can do it just as quickly and just as easily as anyone else. All it requires is that you focus your mind on learning, because I will be very, very honest here. Any young man or woman who can learn 50 Cent's, Nicki Minaj, or Beyonce's lyrics verbatim can learn Newton's laws in physics, the Hamlet soliloquy, how to conjugate German or French verbs, and how to write a fine and literate essay. Now you tell me, rapping is fun, and it's all about today. However, today becomes tomorrow's past, and tomorrow becomes today's future. Time waits on no one. And you may have heard the metaphor, time is money. If you always trust your mind and use it as you would use any other powerful machine, you can achieve anything that you set your sights on over time. Or, as president of the past president of Medgar College, Dr. Edison O. Jackson always reminded us, if your mind can conceive it and your heart can believe it, you can surely achieve it. But if you abuse your mind, or neglect nourishing it, or misuse it by overloading it with petty and trivial thoughts, then it will turn on you and reduce you to a petty, annoying, mediocre person that is incapable of dignified contributions to society. As young persons, you should begin to aim high and let the sky be the limit for you. At least if you fall, you can still reach the cloud. You must start somewhere. You must be willing to pay a price. You must be willing to dream big and recognize that the price for success is nothing more than sacrifice. Don't expect things to happen by virtue of your skin color. Don't expect anyone to want success for you more than you want it for yourself. This is your game. And you, as individuals, needs to develop a plan in order to complete your game successfully. You must always remain hungry for knowledge. You must always be resolute and tenacious in what you want to accomplish for yourself. And you must develop a plan with a timeline for how and when you intend to achieve what you set out for yourself. And again, I'll say you, the individual, must develop a timeline for how and when you intend to achieve what you set out for yourself. Don't let this speech be just a feel-good moment for you. As you leave here, reflect on what has been said and put things into context. Or as Michael Jackson so eloquently stated in one of his songs, I'm starting with the man in the mirror. I'm asking him to change his ways. If you want to make this world a better place, just look at yourself and make that change. The world that Michael Jackson spoke about may not have been the physical world that we live in, but your world that you need to begin to put into perspective. And that world is you. Act on your dreams. Be honest with yourself. Speak to others who have walked the path that you are now walking. Find yourself a mentor or mentors, as the case may be, who can serve as leaders in guiding you as you traverse your way into success. No one said that this will be easy. However, we all know that the race is not for the swiftest, but for those who can endure. Indeed, you cannot begin the most important race of your life and stop midway on the course. You must persevere to to the end. Do not take no for an answer. For every door that's closed should be seen as a sign of rejection. It should be looked upon as a sign of reflection. Every door that's closed should not be seen as a sign of rejection. It should be seen as a sign of reflection. For every drawback, there's a setup for a comeback. To you, the students in the audience, and whoever is listening, whatever path you choose to traverse, remember it is important to understand the nuances of your environment. Some of the same methods that helped you to attain success in your life thus far can be emulated. Some of the mistakes that were made along the way can be corrected. Always remember who you are as a person and what you are, and be humble. Always remember where you came from. Do not neglect to remember your history or remember your past. Always be willing to lend a hand when necessary while seeing yourself as an agent of change. I will leave you with a message from Swami Krishnapada. In his book, Leadership of Higher Consciousness, Swami Krishnapada states, in ancient times, a leader was considered both a representative of God and an administrator whose beneficial actions increase people's love. See yourself as such a leader and practice constantly to maintain this level of consciousness. In your role as a representative of God, accept everything that is offered, passing everything unto God without claiming proprietorship. Give God the credit for your achievements and express gratitude for your willingness to share. See yourself as a vehicle for contagious love that spreads to others wherever you go. Unquote. Do not hesitate to extend a hand to someone in need. Be the leader that you want to be. Stay away from dream stealers and learn to befriend yourself. Again, stay away from dream stealers and learn to befriend yourself. And finally, learn to master your intrinsic goals as a sign of personal development. For as the great American poet John Donne once sagaciously said, no man is an island. Remember, you can do it, you cannot do it alone because success does not depend on individuality. Thank you very much. God bless.